So you've just started shooting film, or maybe you've been shooting film for a while. While it's great and having a lot of fun, it can start to get expensive really quick. Sure, the cameras make satisfying sounds and the names of the films are ridiculous, but shelling out 20 bucks for a lab Devon scan can start to get expensive really quick. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna learn how to do color negative film at home. Let's do it. So there are many benefits to being able to process your color films at home. Being able to push your films is pretty sweet. Being able to cross-process your films, also very sweet. Being able to shoot things like motion picture film. So when you process your film at home, you can do that kind of stuff. Now, of all the benefits of processing your own color film at home, one of the biggest is definitely the cost. Being able to save money by processing your own films at home is a great way to shoot a lot without paying for it a lot. Now, with that being said, there are some expenses. There's going to be some equipment that you're going to need to buy, as well as something like a scanner if you want to digitize your film. So there's those things to keep in mind. But once you're all set up, once you're processing film at home, every single roll you do is going to be money saved at the lab, and you're going to be a happy person. Great. So on that note, let's take a look at some of the things we need to get started. Okay, you're going to need some clean bottles. I like to use amber growlers. You'll also need some funnels. You'll need a good thermometer. I like one that you can calibrate just to make sure it's accurate. Towels, a timer. I like to use my phone. Development tank. Film clips. If you don't have film clips, binder clips are cool. Clothespins also work. I like to use a sous vide for my temperature control, although that's optional. You don't necessarily need that. I like it because it's easy. This is optional as well, a sink thing. With the sink thing, you can place bottles flat in your sink without them tipping over and getting all awkward. And you also need a chemistry kit. This is C41 powder. I usually get them from argentix.ca, which is a great website. But I got these from Camera Traders, which also has the best Twitter for any used film camera shop in the world. It's hilarious. Check them out. This set me back 40 bucks. It's a 1 liter kit, and this will do anywhere from about 20 to 25 rolls of films. You can stretch it more if you feel like gambling, getting risky. So the amount of films that you can do with this little kit is exceptional for cost savings. And in my experience, most C41 kits, whether they're liquid, powder, gel, whatever the hell they are, they're all pretty much the same. So if yours don't look like this exactly, you know, that's okay. You're good to go. All right, cool. So once you have your chemicals mixed up based on the instructions provided, you'll end up with some chemicals that are nice at 102 Fahrenheit, which is exactly what we want. So I'm using a sous vide water circulator to maintain my temperature, but you don't necessarily need that. You can use your sink just with some hot water and your thermometer. Keep an eye on it, you'll still be fine. So now that our chemicals are all warm and ready to go, we're pretty much ready to start developing. So let's finish up the last few steps and let's get started. Now that chemicals are nice and warm, everything is pretty much all ready to go. Now, one other thing that I like to do before I get started is I like to have a lot of hot water on hand. Between the developer and the Blix, I like to give it a little rinse with hot water, and sometimes my tap doesn't always give hot water right on demand, so I like to have it ready to go in a bottle so that I can just pour as I need it. This doesn't have to be exactly at 102. Anything close will be fine, but it's good just to have on hand that you can pour really easily. So I'm just gonna fill this up and we're just about ready to get started. And now the only other thing to do is to load your film on reel. So by now, I take it you've already gone and done that step in the dark, of course. If not, hey, that's okay. I've made another video and you can watch it right there. Oh, it's okay. We'll wait. Okay, good. All right, so now we have our hot water ready to go. We have our film loaded on our development tank, and we have our chemicals warm and ready to go. Okay, so to start, make sure your developer is sitting at 102 Fahrenheit. So if you're using the water bath, if it's not quite there, just add a little more hot water. Just make sure it's sitting at 102 Fahrenheit and you should be good to go. Okay, so to begin, take your water and we're gonna fill up the dev tank all the way. All right, excellent. Now we're gonna let it sit for 60 seconds. So what this is gonna do is just going to get the development tank, all the reel, the film, everything all in there, nice warm at the same temperature. So then when the developer comes in, everything's all the same temperature and it's all good to go. All right, now that it's been 60 seconds, we're gonna take this and we're gonna dump it right down the drain. Okay, good. Excellent, make sure all the water is done coming out of there. Take out our thermometer, and so for the dev. All right, so now we're gonna take the developer and we're going to pour it into the tank and start the timer at the same time, and we're gonna let that go. Starting 3, 2, 1, there we go. So I wanna pour it out nice and smooth and pretty much as quickly as possible. There we go, excellent. And back into the dev. All right, and now with our twirly stick, we're just gonna agitate till we get to 30 seconds on the clock and stop. We are going to agitate this for 10 seconds every 30 seconds. So once the timer gets to 1 minute, we're gonna twirl for another 10 seconds. And then again at a minute 30, 2 minutes, 2:30, you got it. 3, 2, there we go. Now while that's developing, I'm going to get my funnel and put it back into our developer bottle just to get that ready for the next step. Isn't this fun, guys? And we're gonna do this until 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That's the full development cycle. Actually, we'll cut it short at 3:15, and that's when we're gonna start pouring back into the bottle, which is now. Okay, cool. So we've hit 3:15, and now we're gonna pour our developer back into the bottle. It usually takes about 10 seconds. And so it's still developing while it's in here. And we're gonna take our water and we're just gonna give it a quick little rinse. So this is just gonna get all the excess developer off of the film, just so there's no problems that contaminating the Blix. It's just good practice to make sure everything's nice and clean. Put that back up there. So now we swish it around a few times. And then we dump out the dirty developer rinse water. Great, cool. So put the developer in the sink. Now we're moving on to Blix. Oh, okay, Blix. So what I like to do now is, of course, reset your timer. This is nice and empty. We rinsed off the developer, and now it's in with the Blix. So pretty much the same as with the developer. We're just gonna go in with the Blix, start the timer at the same time. 3, 2, 1, boom, roasted. So in with the Blix. This is gonna take off any of the unreacted emulsion and pretty much get that all out of there and leave us with a nice clean picture. Boom, back into the water bath. And then we agitate for about 15 seconds or so. Again, if you don't have a sous vide, that is okay. Regular sink works fine. I did that for years starting out until I finally got this. And I will say it is a luxury having something like that, but you can definitely do it and get away with it in your sink. Totally fine. There we go. So pretty much business as usual with the Blix as it was with the developer. Pretty much we're using the stir wand to agitate the film and the chemicals just so they get mixed around. You get fresh developer or fresh Blix, and it finishes its chemical reaction, and you're left with some banger photos, hopefully. Oh, not sponsored, I swear. Here we go again with the Blix. So the Blix is gonna go for a total of 6.5 minutes. Cut it off at 6:15, pour into the bottle, and then we'll move on to the final wash. All right, excellent. So we're pretty much just finishing up on the Blix here. I have my other funnel. We're gonna put it here next to the bottle. And 6:15, and there we go. Pouring the Blix back in. Same thing, nice and quick. Oh, there we go. All right, and again, with the rinse water, I like to just get it in there nice and quick. Swish it around a little bit, and finally dump it out. Awesome. So now that we have finished the development, we did the Blix, so now we need to wash. So this is where we need more hot water. So I've been familiar with my kitchen sink for quite a few number of years, so I kind of know where to put it. You can dial it in with a thermometer, but really just if it's warm to the touch, it's usually pretty good and right around 100 degrees. But we're going to let this wash for about 5-10 minutes. I usually do 10, but my friend Jamie says that's overkill, so maybe just 5 or somewhere in the middle. You know what? You do you. It's your choice. So anywhere 5 to 10 minutes will be good. Okie dokie. Okay, so that's about 10 minutes in the water. And we're gonna dump it out. Great, cool. So dump the water, and now we're gonna go with the stabilizer. So in again, there we go. So this is gonna be one of our last steps here, and the stabilizer is just as the name implies. It's going to stabilize your film. What exactly that means in more detail, I have no idea. It's the last step, so just do it, all right? Stabilizer, a little bit different than the other processes. So usually I just dump it in, swish it around a little bit, and wait a minute, and then pour it back in the bottle. That's pretty much all I do. Ooh. All right, cool. All right, so now we've done that. Now, one last time, we're gonna fill up the tank, and then we can hang the film. All right, let's get this over with and let's hang this film. So when I'm hanging my film, I like to use a little bit of photo flow. So what is photo flow? It is pretty much just like soap. Kodak's version of dish soap. So it lets your film dry nice and evenly. Not necessary, but if you do have hard water, it might be something you'll think about, or maybe use deionized water, you might get some drying spots on there. But photo flow, love the stuff, it's great. I put it in this little bottle because it's damn near impossible to get just a little amount. So just a couple drops, boom, boom. Great, and it gets nice and bubbly. Boom, there we go. Whoop. So from there, we can take our film clips and we can just hang our film from there, and we'll be good to go. But I like to take it one step farther, and to dry my film quickly, I love to use a salad spinner. So what we do is we will take our developed roll of film, there we go, in the salad spinner, and we spin. Excellent. So a couple rounds in that thing, and it gets all the excess water out. So I like to peel the edge, clip the film, and now it'll take about 20 minutes, half hour to dry, and then you can scan it. And that is pretty much it. So there you have it. We just finished processing our very first roll of color negative film at home, and it was fun, I will say that. It's great. Since I started doing my own film at home in early 2016, it's allowed me to shoot a lot more with how much more affordable it's become, and being able to control the process from beginning to end is pretty cool, and including pushing film. So if you want to get a little bit more experimental or try something new, I can't recommend it enough. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'd be happy to help you out. And until next time.